This was how protesters celebrated Canada Day in Winnipeg, tearing down the Queen Victoria statue outside the provincial legislature. They'd already toppled a statue of the current monarch, Queen Elizabeth.
You murdered thousands of children, hundreds of thousands of children. We don't know yet. But we are here to tell you today that that was wrong. You all know that it was wrong. It was never okay. The churches, Catholic churches, yeah, we're gonna burn them down. Yeah, we're gonna burn them down. Yeah, we're gonna burn them down.
When my children seen that, they were just so heartbroken because they have so many memories in that church.
The fire on Gitwangak First Nation, the latest in a spate of suspicious fires after multiple unmarked grave sites were discovered at former residential schools.
An historic church in northern Alberta has been destroyed by fire. That church has stood in Gruyard, a hamlet near High Prairie, since 1901. Police suspect arson, and as Nicole Weisberg reports, some community members are feeling the loss deeply.
And he says, "Look, Mom," he just like in a frantic voice. He says, "The church is burning." And I said, "Oh my God," I was just so in such disbelief.
The only church in her community, about 1 block away from her home, was burning. A church where her family has made years and years of memories.
My kids, they were baptized, they did their first communion. Lost my mother 9 months ago. We brought her to the church because she loved the church.
The churches, Catholic churches, yeah, we're gonna burn them down.
So I just watched my own film and grew a little bit concerned that perhaps I didn't really put my message across clearly. So for the people who did get this message, bravo, congratulations. But I think a lot of people would miss it. And that's because I just showed it to someone and that person missed it. What I'm trying to say is that the situation that we're in is absolutely absurd. Because as a country, and as those First Nations, together, we're failing the kids in those Aboriginal communities, aren't we? We're failing them now. And we're being criticized for the injustices that we committed in the past, which are no doubt exaggerated and not sufficient. There's insufficient pushback because there's a lot of people whose experience wasn't like that. And if they were to tell their stories, they'd be in a lot of trouble in the communities that they're from because it's part of the gravy train. Yeah, so Canada's more interested in virtue signaling with apology after apology and billions of dollars of payment than it is in looking after those kids. And I mean, it's so rampant that you'd have to say that, you know, I don't know, and it's obvious it's not true with every First Nation, but it's true with enough of them, you know, that it's ridiculous for them to be accusing us of that while they're doing it themselves. This is just another example of bizarro world. And sometimes you have to strip back a few layers to see it. I felt like talking. Not that. Where, as a country, we're pretty much ignoring the plight of Aboriginal children in Aboriginal communities. So that's something that we're apparently okay with. Well, what about when large numbers of kids are being sexually abused? And there's a hypocrisy or irony or something in it because the people that are complaining about injustice committed in the past are now committing the same injustice themselves. And we're not doing anything about it. So it's a really negative reflection on them, and it's a really negative reflection on us. Absolutely ridiculous. Why does it happen? Because it would be difficult to do something. And also because it would interrupt the narrative that essentially postulates that white people are a unique sort of evil. It's a sort of undercurrent that runs through the whole thing. So you don't want to have too many stories that contradict that. And you contradict it when you talk about bad things that other people do. So we've made our apologies. We've made billions and billions and billions. I don't know how many. I bet it's upwards.